All right, family. We black again, black again. It's the Truth Hour with General Sara. Seti. Kick back. Get your mind ready for some information that's guaranteed to be heavy. That's right, family. Ring the alarm. KingSeti.com online marketplace. Official General Sara Seti DVD lectures. That's right, classic and Jurassic DVD lectures. T-shirts and hoodies for the kings and the queens. We got African and Kemetic jewelry for the family out there. Necklaces, earrings. We got the bracelets. Powerful, beautiful, stunning necklaces, finger rings, cuffs for the kings. We got West Africa. We got East Africa. And so we got everything that you need, family. We got the holistic tonics and remedies. Get you together. Health is wealth. And we got home decor for every room in the house. Living room, dining room, kitchen, bathroom. We got you. KingSeti.com. And at this time, we got 15% off everything in the store. And so not only can you find some beautiful products, you can get a discount at the same time. That's right. And class is now in session. GeneralSeti.com, Seti University, over 900 video presentations for your family. Over 900 loading up this weekend. 2 raw for YouTube videos, Seti with the master teachers, Freemasonry exposed, occult science, all debates, all religions, video and radio interviews, highlights from over 50 cities, ancient civilization and mythology, black power, politics and economics, and you even get all the live streams. You know, that the pay-per-view live streams that I do, twice a month, once a month. You get those too. This is the complete General Sara Seti website, binging on Black Power. Go to GeneralSeti.com today and join. Get your ass in class. Okay, we got highlighting how Zeus, our mom, became the Kemetic devil. You understand? Biological warfare on the black community. These are just 2 out of over 900. And so all this right here ain't nothing but smoke. Nothing but smoke. You feel me? And so General Seti popping on Patreon, BPC, making noise. We never calm. Exclusive live stream, too hot to handle on YouTube. Oh, I almost said YouTube. That's what it is. Okay, YouTube. Just did Ogun versus him down tonight. You know what I'm saying? Opening up the spiritual pathways for the family to take a deeper look at their African spirituality. You feel me? Because a lot of the deity is in you. You see, the God that we venerate is us, is in us. You see what I'm saying? So this is one we did tonight. Got some more powerful videos coming up real soon, actually tomorrow. So make sure you get on over to Patreon, become a patron today, and get those exclusive live streams that you cannot get anywhere else. Make sure you subscribe to all my YouTube channel, General Seti, Sara Seti, King Seti. Rock that notification bell. Get a video, a thumbs up, like it because you love it. Share it with your family and friends, and comment. That's right. Just don't say nothing respectful. You see, because I will ban your ass. You'll get banned. And I don't want to do it. All right. Now, another powerful one. We on Facebook tonight, too. I should have gave them the shout out the last time, but we on Facebook too, General Seti. Y'all can get on the, giving love to all my platforms out there. Okay, was the Nubian god Apedemak worshipped in ancient India? You see, let me come on out of this. And so, a lot of people, they don't understand, that the ancients from all over spoken in documentation that India was an extension of the Kush in Africa. Okay? Now, the ones you see over there today ain't the damn originals. Okay? Now, when you see the woolly haired Buddha, then you know what I'm talking about. You see, when you see the woolly haired Buddha, that's what I'm talking about, in which we're going to get in to today. You will see that much of the religions that you see in so-called Mesopotamia, India, you're going to see that these are lesser reconstructs of deities that come out of the Nile Valley. And that the original peoples of all those civilizations are Kushites. You see what I'm saying? Which was documented. You know what I'm saying? Saying by various adventurers, historians, and so on and so forth. Let's get into this. Now, we're talking about Apedemak today. Now, Apedemak was the lion deity, that you find. Now, this is very significant. Naga. That's right. Naga Sudan. Matter of fact, let me go and drop the where the map at. Matter of fact, let me get it over here. See, we're not just making this up. We know exactly, when we say Naga and we say, that we know the true origin of that, it's not made up. You see? Matter of fact, let me get the map. Oh. Matter of fact, it might be all the way at the top. Let me see. No, I'm supposed to have that. Here you go, right here. I was wondering, I'm like, man, come on, man, let's go to work. Okay, and so, this temple of Apedemak is in Sudan. Okay. And so, it was constructed around 400 BC, and it's at Naga, and so you got, this is the map of where it's located. Naga, Sudan is not far from Khartoum, you see. And so you see that when we speak of Naga, it's not just, it's a Naga, Sudan. You got the Negus Nagas. You see, you got the Negus Nagas also in Ethiopia. So, the terminology has existed in Africa from primordial times. Okay, and so what's very significant about this, when you look on the temple, because when you look at what they call the god, you got that god Janus, where you got two heads, but Janus has also got three heads. You see what I'm saying? And in one instance, he had four heads that come out of Rome, and so all of these were nothing but copies, of what the Romans, and the Africans had already taken into what today is Europe before these Cro-Magnon Neanderthals even came down in there. Now, Apedemak was a lion-headed warrior god worshipped by the Meretic peoples inhabiting Nubia. A number of Meretic temples dedicated to this deity was known from western Butana region, Naquata, or Naga, Merowe, or Meroe, or Musarat, which seems to be his chief cult place. So there was a lion temple, and then I got that temple in here, Musarat, where you see the two lions at the front of, the temple. What's very significant, what we have to understand here, when you start seeing, lions that anywhere in the world, that the lion, number one, let me bring this to your attention. The lion is an indigenous African animal, okay, and was carried into Asia, okay, carried into Asia. Now, if you get down, they used to be in Egypt, and so if you were right around the peripheral of Egypt, you might see some in Palestine, or what they call Canaan or Palestine or Israel, but they come out of Africa. So the heart of the lion is in Africa. Okay. And so, just like you see today where you get peoples that come out of Europe, they may bring what they call the German Shepherd. You see, they may bring Rottweilers and Mastiffs to America. They're not from here. They were brought here. You see what I'm saying? And so when the Africans went into Asia, they took a lot of animals. They took a lot of trees. They took a lot of food. You see what I'm saying? That's indigenous to Africa into Asia. And so when you start seeing that the lion was highly venerated in certain aspects of Asian spirit, spirituality, and you say, well, damn, how is it? In certain nations, they use the lion as a symbol of divinity, of royalty, and they don't even got a lion in. The only lion that they got in the nation is one in the zoo that they done bought from some African nation. It's not an indigenous Asian animal. The tiger is the indigenous cat of Asia. You see? And so this is very significant that these, a lot of these symbols of divinity, of royalty, happened at a time when the Africans were in control of these areas. And just like when people, they adopt, you understand what I'm saying? They adopt because they don't got none of their own. And they can't create one greater than the one you created. And so, they adopt it and they continue to venerate it. And many people don't even ask the question, what's really going on? Why would they venerate the lion? Many instances, you will see Shiva with the lion. You see Shiva with the tiger, but many times you will see Shiva with the lion also. Okay, be clear about that. And so now you see and so the thing is with Apedemak, with the three-headed lion, when I started to do my deeper research and comparing India with Sudan and comparing India with Egypt and Nubia, you understand what I'm saying? It was a particular symbol that was dedicated to one of their earliest kings, a Skoa. You see, and I seen that he had the three lions. You see what I'm saying? As his symbol of royalty and divinity, a Skoa. You see what I'm saying? And we don't even stop. We don't even stop to when we hear the word, you got many words that go across the spectrum. You see? And so when I heard a Skoa, I immediately thought of a skier. You see what I'm saying? Because that's what it is. A Skoa, a skier. You see? And when there's many, even the term, when you look at the cow, the veneration, how the Egyptians took the Apis and the cow, the Apis bull and the sacred cow into India. That's why they venerate the cow and the bull today. And so you got what they call the bull they call Nandi. You see, the bull that they call Nandi. And so that was actually the name of the mother of Shaka Zulu. You see, Nandi. You see what I'm saying? And another thing was the fact that the king of the Nagas was Ta Shaka. You see what I'm saying? Look it up, the king of the Nagas in India. We're talking about the serpents. You know what I'm saying? The divine serpents of India was Tashaka. You see what we gonna look into. So, you know, you got what's that? It's some more, you know, words I'm trying to oh yeah. When we thinking about one of the cities in China, Shanghai. You see, you got Shanghai. And then you in Africa, you got Songhai. You see what I'm saying? You got Shanghai, you got Songhai. You see what I'm saying? You got Nandi, you got Kush. You see, you got all these names. You see what I'm saying? That go across the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot more. I just don't have that lecture up right now. You see? And so I understood that. So when I seen a scorer, I say, well, damn, that I almost thought it was a skier. You know what I'm saying? I say, well, that sounds a lot like a skier. You know what I'm saying? And so I say, you know what? Let me continue to do that research. And so when I seen, you know, and I looked at the name first, because I was in Drusilla Dungy's book, Wonderful Ethiopians of the Kushite Empire. Where's the let me see if I got that. Let me see if I got that, the cover of that book. 352. Let me see if I got the cover of that book. If y'all ain't got that book, you should get that book. Drusilla Dungy Houston was rocking their ass about they sleep. You see what I'm saying? She wrote in the early 1900s. She was writing about Kush and Egypt before Dr. Ben and, you know, and all the other ones. You know what I'm saying? She was already rocking their ass. You see what I'm saying? She was already rocking them. I don't have but I have you can get the cover. You know what I'm saying? If you Google it, I was looking for the cover, but I don't have it right now. You see what I'm saying? But I do have, you know, the parts in her book, you know, where she talks about, you know, the Nagas and, you know, the similarities which she already explained. And so I was looking for a scorer first. I was looking for a scorer first because I was studying her book. I say, well, okay, but she's saying something about a scorer. Let me see who he is. And so when I went and I did the research, I seen the three-headed lion. I say, well, damn, I mean, how many you know, similarities you gonna have? And it's so many before you realize that what the ancients was saying, you know, is true. You understand? But because we have been taught, you know, that a nigga ain't did shit and that, you know, we just making up shit as we go. No, we're not making up because a lot of this documentation come from, you know, Europeans and Asians, and ain't just no African niggas just making it up. Just like Dr. Clark, motherfuckers wouldn't even really know about a lot of this information if it wasn't for radical, you know, white writers that was giving up some, you know, they didn't have, you know, at that time, a nigga was a slave. Shit, you ain't, what you gonna hide some of it? You know, he can't read. So you say, you know what I'm saying? So they didn't have no fear of putting the truth in a lot of that literature at that time, you know, because they figuring black people didn't have no access to it. So, you know, they would just say, oh, these is niggas. You see what I'm saying? Straight up. This is exactly what it is. And, you know, and then, but when, you know, they seen that black people started to become, you know, more academic and started, you know, they knew it was time to get that shit, you know, and try to hide it, but it was too much of it out there. You see what I'm saying? It was too much of it out there. You know what I'm saying? And now they want to, you know, they want to disown their own now. You know what I'm saying? That told the truth. So we're not just making shit up. You know what I'm saying? Because we got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of European writers that didn't say it exactly what it is. Okay, period. And so let me get back here. So that was one of the first things. So I'm gonna go here to what Drusilla Dungy, the ancient Kushite empire, the wonderful Ethiopians of the ancient Kushite empire. Now it talks about on 221, one non-Aryan chief describes this race as a fearful swiftness, yielding in battle, colored with a dark blue cloud. This old type we talking about in India is represented today by the compact masses at the south. These Dravidian constitute 46 million of southern Indians today. They represent the unmixed kushite type. All the rest of the blood of India is heavily mixed with this strain. These Dravidians that the untruthful book seeks to represent today as the despised outcast, when they are still a very important division of the Hindu population in India in primitive times by the Northwest Passage. And so right there, I take it deeper than that. You know what I'm saying? They didn't come by, they came by way of the monsoons. You see what I'm saying? We got to be clear about that. They came by way of the monsoon. They sailed in. They did not walk, and that's one of the, but other than that, we understand. You see, part of the advancing wave of the old race that swept eastward and westward, people in primitive Arabia, Egypt, and Chaldea, the rich merchants of the ancient Indian commerce had been Dravidians. Listen, but of their greatest kingdoms was Pandya, so noted in the Sanskrit writings. The Nandas in Bihar, of whom the great Chandragupta sprang, and his greater grandson, Askoa, were non-Aryan. They were of the supposed to be degraded Sudra. Now that's another word right there, because another word that they try to call the outcast are the Sudra, which is very similar to Sudan, Sud, the Sud, and then actually they got the Sud swamp. You see what I'm saying? So that's another term that goes across boundaries. Now, listen, the Tashaka, it was actually Tashaka. Many were, they put the A on the end. Tashaka and Naga nations, who figure so largely in Sanskrit tradition, are words purely African. See? Purely African. So you got to understand what she's saying. She cracking their head. This was in the early 1900s, letting you know that Tashaka and Shaka and Naga, because you see on that east coast of Africa, they moving back and forth, you know what I'm saying, from Africa to India anyway. They have been doing it since ancient times, and because you got them monsoons out there. See, a lot of people, because they have, you have to continue to do research. This is over thousands. I'm talking about thousands and shit. You understand? When you're talking about many, many years of research, and it'll bring you to the reality that our peoples was, on the oceans, and they was on the seas, and, they had mastered them oceans and them seas at a very early date. You see what I'm saying? And so, they ain't walked nowhere. You know what I'm saying? They ain't walked no damn where. They sailed in. You see what I'm saying? And once you understand, once they begin to colonize, of course, once people get aware that there's land and there's a lot of resources, and it might be heavily populated, back at home, they begin to branch off. They begin to move to the new colony. You see what I'm saying? And so there you see right there, I was studying a scholar, and then, you know what I'm saying? And then, I say, damn, the Tashak, I say, well, damn, that sounds a lot like Shaka, and then when I went in to do the research, they even spell it Tashaka. You know what I'm saying? And so when she wrote, she said nations. And so when I went to do the Tashaka, I realized that not only was it a nation or a people, but it was actually the king of the Nagas. I say, damn, that's deep. You see, that was the king of the Nagas, the divine serpent. So that right there, and then when I went and showed that, not just the lion, but even the winged serpent, and we think a lot of people think that, you taking the Naga from India. You taking the Naga from India and you like, you usurping, but you see the serpent with the head, with the human head in Africa, which I've shown many, many times before. So what they call the Naga was already in Egypt thousands of years before there was an India. So you know what I'm saying? That's where our mind, we thinking, nigga, say no, we dropping hardcore facts today. You see what I'm saying? So, many of these deities went over that the Nubians and the Egyptians and what they call Punt. You understand, which was on that horn of Africa. You see, they had, had a global empire. You see? And so let me again, let me drop that down in there. You know what I'm saying? So when you see a skier and then you see a scorer, you see, a scorer, you know what I'm saying? And so in many respects, and you see that the not only that the deities and the names are so, so alike. So when you see the spirit or the royal emblem of a scorer was the three-headed lion, and then you go right back to Naga and Sudan, and you see the same veneration. You see, there is no coincidence. Now, what's another thing that, and I dropped this, and and a lot of people still just ain't, they haven't, peep the science on this to show you how deep this shit is. When you go to Naga, Sudan, and I was looking and I was like, I began to, I studied the temples. I go all the way around. I try to find as many, and I stay on that temple as even if I stay on one temple for a month, trying to get the best photos. I search the internet high and low looking for the best photos I can on the temple, and make sure I get high resolution so I can make sure, if I ain't got it myself, I'll look for it. And so when I was looking at this temple, of Apedemak in Naga, Sudan, I noticed, like at the, on this pylon right here, you see, matter of fact, I don't think you can, and it's hard to see it even here, but right here to the right, which you can see it blew up. You see Apedemak as a Naga. You see the lion head on the serpent, and the serpent is coming out of the lotus at the bottom. And I was like, well, you see that because a Naga can have a head of an animal, it can have a head of a human, it can have all of that. You see, so you even see the serpent, you know what I'm saying, with the lion head at Apedemak. So that's a Naga. That's exactly what it is. It's a Naga. You see what I'm saying? And it's looked at as a, as a symbol of divinity, as a symbol, the lotus being a symbol of rebirth. You see what I'm saying? And again, you see, you see Apedemak there, the lion deity. When you start talking about the Hormacket, the Sphinx, and that the home, the area where the lion is most is in the south of Africa. And even here you see where they go to war with the lions. You see what I'm saying? Even though the lion is extinct in 99% of Asia, why do so many continue to still revere the lion? You see, because it was the national symbol of the Kushite and Kemetic kings who they deified as gods. You see what I'm saying? They deified. So these were the national symbols of these great Kushite and Kemetic kings who conquered into Asia and set up civilization. Matter of fact, they didn't conquer, they set up civilization. Wasn't nobody there when they got there. They was the original peoples of the land. But but it was still looked at as a military, you know what I'm saying, expedition. Because anytime you leave the house or leave, you leave your motherland and go anywhere else, it's a military expedition. And so as I was looking, and I say, damn, and just to show you all over the world, now this is a better one. You know what I'm saying? And so when you look at this serpent coming out of the lotus, and then you go over to the Aztecs and you can see what they took from the Olmec. That's what they did. You see the serpent coming out of what looked like to be some form of a, I don't know if it's a mushroom or, you know what I'm saying? But again, you can see that it's this very same concept. You see, it's the very same concept that had been taken all over the world. You see, they've been taken all over the world. And so, when we look into these other places, we can't be letting people thinking that we making this shit up. That's just like when we get on the Olmec, they, them old, stringy head goddamn Mexicans down there talking about we still in the Olmec culture. They know goddamn well that ain't them. They know goddamn well that's not them. You see what I'm saying? When that motherfucker, Ron, whatever his name, Ron Sterling, whatever that motherfucker, who was a Mexican, found them goddamn Olmec heads down there. He even himself wrote that it was African. But then they hushed his motherfucking mouth up. They hushed him up. And another thing, when they found them goddamn heads, man, they put the dirt back on them. You understand? They had to come back many, many years later to retrieve them heads. If at any point in time they thought them damn heads looked like them, they would have dug them heads up immediately and put them in front of the world and say, look at us. Look how great we were. But because they looked like Africans, they kicked the dirt back on them. And so again, even in India, them motherfuckers, they know. You understand what I'm saying? I remember way back, and I'm about to move to the next video. I remember way back, I was searching. I was on my Naga shit. I was searching deep, and I was on the internet, and I seen, it was an Indian website, and it had Naga. And matter of fact, it looked like it had the titles that I was using. And I say, what the fuck is this? And I clicked on to this shit. It's in India. These motherfuckers had took my videos and embedded it in their website. But all the words was like they, in their language and shit. And that let me know something. That it conjured something up in their ass that they knew was the goddamn truth. Because I do comparative study. You ain't gonna get away with that. You see what I'm saying? And after you show so many, it's gonna become evident that it's not a coincidence. Maybe one thing, but when you got tens of hundreds of just the same, and it's not a coincidence. It's a reality that somebody took from somebody else. And the oldest is the African, so we know how that happened. You see what I'm saying? So family, was the lion god Apedemak worship in ancient India? The question is yes. You know why? Because there's so many other deities that, from the Nile that is found venerated in, such as the Apis, bull in Nandi, the cow, the Hathor, goddess is also venerated. You understand? You see Bess, the little Twa is also venerated in India. And I can go on and on and on. You understand what I'm saying? These was the Nile Valley gods and goddesses that was there before them people even got in there. That these was the Kushites that had, and that's another thing which I'm gonna do a video on. When you go into the South, where Drusilla Dungy Houston is talking about, see, that's where you see a lot of them old temples with the pyramids and out of stone. You see what I'm saying? When you go in the South End, that's where you find. And when I laid it out, the temple that over there in India is the same as it is in Egypt. You see what I'm saying? I laid that out too. So it ain't no coincidence. It's a fact. So when we drop it, and a lot of people say, well, what is this? Because you know what? This is the energy of our ancestors. This is our spiritual, historical heritage. You see what I'm saying? And when you look at powerful people all over the world, they always venerate they ancient monuments. They venerate them. You see what I'm saying? All powerful. It's actually, and see, people, you got niggas out there. Niggas. That's all that they is. N-I-G-G-E-R. Niggers. You see what I'm saying? They always throw out there, well, what is this supposed to do? You understand what I'm saying? It's supposed to, be markers and monuments of your ancestors that have you aspire to be divine and to be royal. When you look at all peoples on this over the world that's in power, they always venerate they ancient monuments. That's a given. That's an aspect of royalty. It's only ignorant ass niggas that ask, what's that supposed to? Yeah, it's also a glaring monument of your weakness, nigga. And that's really because you can't aspire to that level of greatness. You understand what I'm saying? You can't even spark the memories in your cells to even conjure up that greatness no more. And so it really shames you. You understand what I'm saying? The fact that your ancestors could be that great and you could be such a punk ass nigga. You understand what I'm saying? Unable to aspire to be anything close to the greatness of your ancestors. And so I'm tired of motherfuckers acting like the knowledge of it's a marker. It's your ancestral inheritance that let you know that this is who you are. The history not going it's what's come after. It's what comes after the history, the movement, the push. You understand what I'm saying? To make the history a reality, because you ain't got no push, because you ain't got no movement, because you ain't got no aspirations to be free. You turn around and blame your weakness on the history. Well, what is the history is only a monument or a documentation of your greatness. And knowing it alone ain't gonna put you on no goddamn throne, nigga. You don't want to fight for shit. And so you blame the history, and that is anytime you hear motherfuckers say, well, what is this supposed to do for, what is it? That's a weak nigga. No, that's a cry of weakness. You understand what I'm saying? I don't care who I hear that shit from. I'm like, well, what the, in my mind, I mean, what the fuck is it supposed to do for you, nigga? But motivate you. You understand? Inspire you to be great. That's what it's supposed, and it can do. But because you weak, you a weak nigga, and you're not gonna do nothing, no way. It stands as a monument of your weakness. You understand what I'm saying? So you rather get it out of there. You understand what I'm saying? Because somebody gonna turn around, man. Well, if that's your ancestor, well, what the fuck going on with you? So you don't need no markers like that, because that's like a mirror out there. You know what I'm saying? To show that our ancestors was making moves. They were making global moves on a monumental level. And you're not going to do that because you're a weak nigga. And so you rather get it out the way so it's not a monument glaring on your weakness. You understand? People don't like a mirror like that, where they look up and they see, and they running around, scrubbing you understand, the ground and shit, just bare, what they call them, belly crawlers. Ain't nothing but a goddamn belly crawler. So family, be invigorated, be motivated, be inspired by your greatness. Is in your cells, is in your DNA. Unlock that greatness and becoming. That's one of the terms used in the ancient Medu. Becoming, the Kepara. Becoming. We becoming, nigga. We see our greatness and we are becoming. This is the General Sara Suten said. He said, hey, coming right black, family. Got one more for the road, family. Dealing with the N word. Dealing with the N word as a term of divinity. We got to come right black now. Coming right black. This is the general saying, hey, arm yourself with knowledge, bang on that wicked ass beast daily liberation through African education and confrontation. Black power.